Well, hey everyone, it's the week of January 26th to February 2nd, closing out the first month of 2026. And this year has been no joke already. Tali here in Seattle.
I'm Ophi in New York, and today we are bringing on, I think, our first ever guest, and this was very impromptu. Um, we are welcoming Brandy Morcomb from Minneapolis, St. Paul, from the Twin Cities. Brandy, hi, Brandy.
Hi.
Brandy is a longtime student of ours turned coach in our program, member of Team Astro Style, and an incredible shamanic healer, energy healer. We've been keeping on top of what's happening actually in Minnesota through Brandy. You may have heard her name mentioned. She always has a good quotable as a Gemini. So we've mentioned her a few times on the podcast. And oh boy, I wish we had different reasons for bringing you on and having our first guest, but we thought it would be really helpful for our listeners to meet Brandy and just have hear the conversation that we're going to have about what's going on in Minnesota, what that means for the world, for you, wherever you're listening from, and how you can help. A lot of people are feeling helpless. This is a huge week with Neptune officially settling into Aries on
For
Monday, the
13
26th,
years.
for
Yep.
13 years until 2039. If you follow us on Instagram, you may have seen Tali's post about this being the exact same moment that we saw right at the beginning of the Civil War. So we're
The
Astro
Battle of
Twins.
Force, yeah, the Battle of Fort Sumter began. Yeah, we're at AstroTwins on Instagram if you don't follow us yet. But the Battle of Fort Sumter, which began the Civil War officially, took place on April 12th of 1861. And then 2 days later, on April 14th, Neptune moved to 0 degrees Aries. And, it was there in Aries, much as it will be now for the remaining 4 years of the Civil War. What was happening before that, though, and why I think it's also kind of prescient that Brandy is with us, is that the spiritualist movement was having its heyday. This from 1840 to 1920. Mostly women were meeting in parlors and drawing those velvet drapes, having seances, but they were also gathering for abolitionist and suffragist movements to free enslaved Africans, to get women the right to vote. And, you know, Frederick Douglass was part of the spiritualist movement. So there's a man, Harriet Tubman, uh, who is a hero who's, of course, Trump is trying to take down statues and rename things of her, which is insane. But she had a head injury from while she was working in the fields from a cruel overseer, and then she started having visions. And she actually said that those visions guided her to know how to move people through the Underground Railroad. So
Wow.
I think it's really powerful. Like that Fox News was, in their ridiculous way, was talking about the quote unquote wine moms out there who are, going out. These wine moms are protesting, and I'm like, okay, rosé and resistance, bitches, because these places where the patriarchy doesn't think to look is a lot of times where the organization is happening. And Brandy, you were telling us the other day about the very um, coded whistle system that
Yeah.
Minnesotans have. I'd love if you would talk a little bit about the organizing that people are doing in Minnesota, because I think, ICE is going to be coming. They're in Portland, Maine. I'm sure they're increasing in Seattle where I am. Can you talk about what people in Minnesota are doing?
And
Yeah.
and just like what it's like in general too. Let's even start with that too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I live
Yeah.
a couple blocks from West St. Paul area, which is one of the largest cultural communities in the area. And a lot of this is happening in Minneapolis, but it's also happening in our local neighborhood as well. And everybody has whistles, and that's why a lot of people are sharing like they have guns, we have whistles. And what we do is people will, when they spot ice, they will start to blow the whistle like it's three short blows. And it kind of alerts people like ice is in the area. So anybody that needs to get safe can get safe, but also so that any of us can come out and record or help witness. People are taking classes now on how to professionally record, you know, what is happening and how to de-escalate situations. And then the long whistles, like when we see somebody being detained or arrested, we start to like long whistle, and it's just like another indicator of like what is happening. So everybody can kind of come, like not to cause problems, but to be witness to what is actually going on, to try to help, to try to de-escalate.
Yeah.
It's yeah, like it's a really good system to try to keep people safe.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Now, how are people communicating with each other? Is it through the whistles? Are there, I mean, I don't want to give away anything here either, but
Yeah,
yeah.
like I mean I don't know like a lot about the communication piece. I mean, I know to watch a lot of independent social media content
Mhm.
creators that I know and trust, and they are constantly posting very like live updates, like they're doing where people will give them tips of where ice is located, and they will go and record live there, and they're kind of tipping people off in that way. And then the
Yeah.
whistles, like obviously like it's crazy how many people own whistles, and they're actually making anybody that has 3D printers, they're asking to make whistles, and you can go to like local businesses that just have like bowls of them, and they're
Wow.
like take as many as you need.
Yeah.
And yeah,
One
so
of the things that I've been really impressed with what you've told me is just how local groups and citizens are coming together. And, let's take a moment just to honor Alex Preddy, the nurse who was executed on the street yesterday. Um, we were in the middle of a class that we're all in, our mastermind, that we were having a Zoom call when we all got the news. And so, you know, in from what it looked like, he was doing the peaceful protesting and resisting. I guess I would ask you, like, has that left people scared to go out more or looking for more ways? How are people kind of, and you may not know because you're one person, and of course, we're not trying to make you be the representative of all Minnesotans, but
yeah, I think that's their goal, is to make us afraid to go out.
hmm
Um, I think that they mistake Minnesota nice for passive
yeah.
versus strong. And
hmm
uh, there's a protest this afternoon that was already being held, and last night there was where they asked people just to go out in your own neighborhood even and just light candles for both Renee Good and Alex Preddy.
hmm
And I think a lot of communities did that. I think a lot of communities are still going to like the places and the actual like sites and vigils there, but I think that community is really important, and um not everybody lives in like close to these areas, and I think it is like making sure our neighbors know that we are a safe person, or like just showing community, like we're not staying silent, we're showing up. And so
Yeah.
it's like cold here, and people
It's
are
really
going
cold.
out. Yeah, and people are going outside. Like 50,000 people showed up for that protest. And
It's
um
amazing.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and it was even more amazing to see other people across the country and other countries sending us love and support, that we're not alone, because right now we feel very alone. We don't feel supported by our government. We don't feel supported by our own representatives sometimes. It is
Yeah.
the community, people showing up every single day, bringing food, donating what we can, organizing. Indivisible is a really on the ground, like
Yeah.
organizing all the protests, and it's crazy here. I'm sure you guys
Yeah.
saw like the Minneapolis airport, there was 100 clergies that were arrested. It's
Hmm.
just, and they were peacefully protesting in prayer, and like they want us to sound like we're aggressive, and it
Yeah, the
they just
spin on it and the bribe. I mean, we're in these last moments of Neptune in Pisces and the last couple weeks of Saturn in Pisces, which is a sign of illusions. And just, all that underground scheming and manipulation. So Attorney General Pam Bondi, who was a Scorpio and the worst of them, is basically attempting to bribe Minnesota, saying, "Oh, we'll tell ICE to leave, but you just have to turn over voter records." Like
And
basically,
sanctuary policies and protections for immigrants. So, I
so it's
mean,
now the art of the deal. And she's
and
yeah,
and I feel like it's just disgusting how the political views are being skewed and like wanting us to believe or wanting us to do what they want us to do, versus this is human decency, human rights, like how people
hmm
deserve to be treated and cared about. And nobody is saying they want rapists and murderers on the street. Like nobody is saying that. But the people that are literally being killed are the kindest of the kind. Like they are
yeah,
the helpers and the calm and the peaceful protesters, and they are spinning this into, I just can't even believe how delusional people are right now.
what were you gonna say?
The trauma this is
Yeah.
causing
Hmm.
energetically.
I know. I think everybody's feeling that, and you guys are in the middle of it. You mentioned, and I don't want to delay too long, that there's a great organization called standwithminnesota.org that is really doing the boots on the ground work of um, bringing rent relief funds, food and
Mm,
supplies, pet and animal support, materials, a diaper fund, contraceptive and abortion care. I mean, union member support funds. I'm just reading from their website. They have organized to disperse donations in different categories because this is affecting people's daily lives. What I'm hearing, people are afraid to leave their homes, go to work. Um, I saw a story someone shared on LinkedIn of a 12-year-old girl who got her period for the first time. Has a single father. He was at work and she couldn't leave the house. And they were trying to get neighbors to bring her supplies and support her, but they were too scared. So they had to go through the whole network just to get her, you know, a pad that she probably didn't even know how to use yet. And the comfort, much less that being a celebration and a moment of her womanhood beginning, it's like it became this whole cloak and dagger kind of mission. Standwithminnesota.org is helping with those very real life things.
There are local businesses that have, like Smitten Kitten, for example, that have turned their adult business into like a hub of donations, right? And then they had to like move that, and they get requests every day from people messaging them, wanting to know, how do we help? Where do we donate? And I, Indivisible is actually who shared the Stand with Minnesota
Hmm.
org organization, and said it was a trusted resource, and for those all over the world that want to help and that don't know how, that is where to go. Like that is, they will make sure that the funds go directly to these families, that they go towards what they say that they're going towards. It is a really fantastic, like there are so many people helping out with safe rides and then dispersing these things such as food and because we're talking about like people that can't even go to the grocery store or the gas station because like or are afraid to
Or the
drive.
doctors. I mean, the
Yeah,
nurses
doctor
are truly,
appointments.
and interestingly, Pisces rules hospitals and nursing. And as we're in these final degrees of Saturn and Neptune and Pisces, like those are the hotbeds of everything. I mean, Minnesota has a Pisces North Node in its chart, and the North Node is in Pisces. So we're seeing people who can't even go get their medical care, probably their dialysis and regular
Yes.
treatments, anything like that. And it's inhumane. So we are also going to do something at Astro Style. So for the rest of January, go to astrostyle.com/Minnesota and we're offering, we're going to give 100% of proceeds for our PDF version of the 2026 horoscope book, which is $29. Even if you already have it, you want to help this way, buy it, give it to a friend, family member, community member, or go right to standwithminnesota.org and donate. We're going to donate 100% of all sales of our 2026 horoscope book PDF from astrostyle.com/Minnesota to standwithminnesota.org to make sure that we are also helping to get these resources to families in need. And I'll say that with also that it's complete and total bullshit that citizens are having to do this while federal and state governments are gone. Like my question is like, where are where are the newscasters? I think Anderson Cooper just got there. Shout out to Don Lemon who went there. Jolly Ginger or Jolly
Jolly
Good
good
Ginger.
gin.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
say his name wrong,
Yeah.
but he's awesome. I mean, some
A
celebrities are
judge, Don
speaking
Lemon
out.
was even Pam Bondi, her again, was trying to, to have him, I don't know, come for him, and the judge threw it out.
Oh,
Yeah.
good. That's so good. He's a
I
Pisces, right? So, I mean,
he's
there
a
you go.
Pisces.
I mean, last week when that whole Brooklyn Beckham thing came out, for example, I just thought there are a lot of celebrities who are also being extremely tone deaf right now, posting their vacation and tropical pictures or their wedding grievances from 4 years ago. Like, not now, okay? Just
We
save
don't
it for
care if
another time.
Your Spice Girl mother and Aries clashed with your Capricorn wife. I mean, to speak to that, which is utterly ridiculous, I can't believe, but we will go there because it's being talked about. Brooklyn Beckham is a
Another
Pisces.
Pisces, yeah.
Nicola Pell's a Capricorn. And Victoria Beckham, and Aries. Now we know Aries mothers tend to be a little bit possessive of their sons, their firstborn sons. It's a thing. Aries mothers out there, don't deny it.
Why interrupt the algorithm and
Well,
take people
I know.
away?
Well, of course, that's the
Right.
point. But this is these problems could be solved with astrology. Like one of the big grievances was that Victoria Beckham didn't finish the wedding dress for Nicola. Don't we
Mm.
know that Aries start projects and don't finish them? I mean, sorry, just a little comic relief there. Back to Pam Bondi, by the way, her and Christy Nome. Just with Jupiter and Cancer right now, we're also seeing the worst of some women out there. This Iron Lady, they both have a weird dog overlap. So we all know Christy Nome is a dog puppy killer. She just shot
Ugh.
a dog. Like this is who's in charge of
And
DHS.
bragged about it.
Bragged about it because the dog wasn't, hard working enough. Apparently,
Oh
Pam
my
Bondi,
God.
and you can look this up, she's obsessed with dogs. She doesn't have a partner. I guess she had an engagement that broke up, and she's also 60 years old, which is shocking. I found
And she's
there's an
in her
article about,
60s. Yeah.
yeah,
I don't think
she's,
she's human. I don't think,
got the
Brandy, to your point, I'm
Mar-a-Lago.
not sure they might be like AI
I
hallucinate.
feel
I
I feel
wish
like
they
they
were.
are the
I wish they were.
Mar-a-Lago
They just feel
AI,
like
but
they're bots.
They feel
Yeah.
like bots, they do. But so Pam Bondi was into rescuing dogs. She rescued a dog during Hurricane Katrina, and then they found the owners. She didn't want to give the dog back, so a 16-month lawsuit, like it was like
It took the family 16 months to get their dog back, and then she had promised to provide food and medicine for and visits for the life of the dog, and then quickly just forgot about it and adopted a new Saint
this is
Bernard.
who's the I'm just this is the level, the low empathy level that we have. This family probably lost everything in Hurricane Katrina. They lost their pet, and then to discover your pet after that kind of devastation. And she fought them in the courts to keep their dog. Like this is who we're dealing with here. So I can't, I mean, it's like this is gonna go down in the books like the, Nuremberg trials one day. And it's just, yeah,
Absolutely. Well, I mean, this kind of brings us to the planetary transits of the week. So, right now we have five planets in Aquarius, which is the zodiac sign that rules
Civil
organizing
rights.
groups, civil rights, social awareness, social justice.
Humanitarianism.
Exactly. What's happening that the general strike started the day Mars went into Aquarius, and it was the fifth one. So
Yeah, so protests, I mean, we're going to see this all the way into the first week of February. After that, Mercury moves out, but the other planets continue on. Mars is there for
till
most of the
March
month
2nd.
till March
Yeah.
2nd. Yeah, Mars is in Aquarius till March 2nd. Pluto for 20 years. I mean, this is a sneak preview what's more to come. But to have that many there, and we have a Leo full moon on Sunday, February 1st. So
And let's
there
not forget Mars and Pluto are meeting up this week too.
absolutely.
Tomorrow.
So yeah, on Tuesday we've got Mars and Pluto conjunct. So that happens every couple of years, and Mars and Pluto are two of the most fiery planets. We can, I mean, I I don't know how Minnesotans have managed to peacefully protest this because the rage that I'm feeling personally.
I
I
do
mean,
worry about riots on Tuesday. Actually, the last time Mars and Pluto were conjunct was on Valentine's Day of 2014. I mean, 2024. I
mm,
don't remember what I was doing, probably nothing that year, but Mars is war and anger, and Pluto is that hidden destructive rage. I mean, Brandy, are you feeling that riots are brewing? Are you feeling that people are able to like, are going like, no? We
this
will
didn't
not give
work.
you that?
Right. Like, I think that we've done a really good job of peacefully protesting because we are so mad. And I
Mhm.
think
Mhm.
that you can only stay peaceful for so long and
Yeah.
feel unheard and feel unsupported before you're just going to
Snap.
resist. And yeah,
Yeah.
like like people are like, comply, comply. And I'm like, I don't see anyone not complying. Like,
Hmm.
I don't know what I would personally do with 7 to 10 masked men attacking me
Yeah.
at once.
I
Like,
mean, I
I mean,
think people are being stretched past their limit. They're doing what they're told to do. I mean, I've never seen such organizing so like just so quickly implemented the way, your city has, and yet someone was still shot and killed. So it would be very natural for a group of people to just be like, screw this. We tried. It's not work. I mean, it's the same thing that happened. The year of the snake was in 1965. The year of the wood snake, which we're finishing up between now and February 17th. The last year of the fire horse, 60 years ago, was 1966. That's when the Black Panther movement was founded. Kwanzaa was celebrated for the first time. We had religious evangelical fervor. The John Lennon made an offhand comment that the Beatles were more popular than Jesus, which set off um, right-wing evangelical Christian burnings of Beatles albums all over the United States, especially in the South. The architect of apartheid in South Africa, the prime minister, he was assassinated in 1960. I mean, it was, yeah.
Hey,
And
I
that
Indira
guess
was an
Gandhi
intense
became the
year.
first female leader of India, so that, at least gives some hope. But it was, let's just say it was a charged time, and I feel like that same energy is afoot.
Foment, yeah.
yes. And I think it's really interesting that this is all happening in Minnesota and the history of Minnesota and the ancestry and the indigenous people here and the bloodshed that's happened here. And
Yeah.
I think that when I think about Pluto and all the planets that are now going into Aquarius that are meeting up with Pluto, like question, reevaluating our value system, the control and power that Pluto has, and like meeting up with the sun and that like shining its light, and Venus with our value systems and like what do we value? How do we feel valued? How do we value others? And I think
Hmm.
that we are really trying to show up for our neighbors and for our communities and for people that we know to help support them any way that we can because this is just so unhumane. I
Hmm.
just can't, I don't even have words for it. I don't want to speak for every Minnesotan because that's not what I'm here to do, but like for what I'm witnessing and feeling, the energy here has been heavy. And I think it's interesting that this happened yesterday, the day after 50,000 Minnesotans joined to do a march, a peaceful protest.
Yeah.
And it was -9 with a real feel of -30.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
still showed up. And I can't even imagine how many would have showed up if it had been warmer.
Right.
Um,
Right. There would have been
Right.
people pouring in from other parts of it's not anywhere near over. I mean, this happened the day after the Pluto Cazimi on
yep.
Friday, and Mars connecting to Pluto this coming week. The
While Neptune's in
Democrats,
Aries.
well,
Yeah,
Neptune,
Neptune
yeah.
and Aries. Like
Well, the
it's just
Democrats are not going to fund ICE, they're saying, which is going to cause a government shutdown again at the end of the week. So maybe this time they'll actually, you know, grow a pair and stay, that it's like we had such an opportunity as hard as it was in November. Our entire
Was,
government
yeah.
is going to get reevaluated this year too.
Tim Walz is an Aries, and I do feel that when Neptune and Saturn went back from Aries into Pisces after a preview, things got even more sort of passive and contained. So I am thinking that, end of this week, Mars, Pluto, Leo, full moon, and the next week, Uranus goes out of retrograde. And historically, when Uranus stations direct and goes out of retrograde, all this pent up rage. I mean, there have been
Mm,
shootings a lot almost every year and I pray that there aren't, but I've seen that for years coincide with the one time of year that Uranus moves out of retrograde to direct. So we're going to need to be very careful
yeah.
and strategic, but I don't know. I think that the pot is going to boil over unless the so-called the elected leaders start showing up, and the cultural leaders too. I mean, I cannot wait for Bad
Yeah.
Bunny and Green Day at the Super Bowl. That is going to be
I love
epic.
it. I love
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
I love it. And I love that Billy Joe Armstrong's wife is from Minnesota.
Oh
And
Oh, she
so
yeah.
is. That's
it
right.
was, yeah, it's just kind of like, the icing on the cake there. And he's been very vocal about, supporting us here in Minnesota. And it's nice to see people showing up and not afraid to speak out because the silence is deafening.
Hmm.
And I
And
think that
yeah.
as the water boils and starts to boil over, I am really looking forward to other states supporting us and, all over
Yeah.
because we need that. We need to feel the support of other people.
Jasmine Crockett is an Aries, and even though she represents Texas, she has been speaking out rather vocally too.
This is something amazing. I just looked up Billy Joe Armstrong's birthday. I knew he was an Aquarius, but his birthday is February 17th, 1972, our year. So he's the day that the year of the fire horse begins. This is his
Oh,
birthday this
Oh,
wow.
year, the day of the Aquarius solar, ring of fire, solar eclipse, lunar year of the fire horse, February
wow.
17th. So he is that Bad Bunny is March 10th, 1994.
Pisces, of course.
I
That's
see.
what's so frustrating because it's
Finishing his
like,
Saturn return too.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
And maybe this is the first time in our lives that we've seen white Americans getting shot, attacked, murdered. I mean, yes, that's happening in the detention centers and the family separations, but having law enforcement turn on white Americans and immediately go to their propaganda machine on the news and start, oh, he was a domestic terrorist,
And then you
criminal, and
see,
start spinning that.
I
mhm.
also am worried about how desensitized we're becoming by seeing people actually executed online.
I
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Like, like this is so horrible and horrendous and sad and enraging that
Yep.
this is becoming normal.
Yeah.
I mean, this is where organization is needed. This is where there's a vacuum of leadership on the left because, I don't think anyone expected this. I don't know why. It's like, did we not learn anything from the first term? But, we're all pulled in so many directions. And I think a lot of young people are waking up now too. And it's,
Yeah, there was a
I guess,
protest of my daughter's high school classmates in our town. They were protesting ICE on Friday after school, and cars were driving by and honking. And I'm like, for all, they are around because the town that we live in is very uh, multicultural. There's a lot of immigrants from Central America, the Caribbean. So ICE has been around, not like in Minnesota,
it's not
but
safe for them to
yeah.
go out and protest either.
Right.
They could get, it's like if you're brown,
Right.
you're a target right now. And, that's just it's horrifying. It's like,
Like you said, it's time
I
for
want
white people to step up and end
Hmm.
white supremacy.
I
Like,
want to say it's un-American, but it really isn't. It's a continuation. I mean, there have been a lot of conversations on social media about the slave catchers
Oh
who
yeah.
went out to, would go to the north and, try to bring back and capture people who escaped slavery. And, there's a lot of comparisons and a lot of talk about how ICE, that white Southern way we've never healed that wound. And the United States has been in its it's still in the throes of its Pluto return, still a few degrees out from that. And also its Chiron return, which happened during the US election in 2024. Um, we're still seeing the unfolding of that because where are they getting these ICE agents from? They're
Yeah, the
still,
Department of Homeland Security propaganda for recruiting is reaching for white supremacists, KKK, just Civil War and not a Confederate kind of sayings and Nazi Germany. They're using propaganda, sayings, dog whistling to that. Let's talk about the values of Minnesota because that is something that I think makes it so
mm,
outrageous, but also unique with how your state is dealing with this. So back in 1998, we sold our very first company. We had a magazine we started in college called Hughes, and we sold it to um, a family owned publishing business, New Moon Publishing. in Duluth, Minnesota. So the deal was that one of us, it was me, Talia, and our friend Diane Logwood, who started Hughes, and we built it into a national magazine from a college project. It was an inclusive, multicultural women's magazine. And and so we sold it to New Moon, and the deal was that one of us had to move to Minnesota. And for whatever reason, I volunteered. It was going to be for a year, and then I was going to join
I was
Tolly
like,
in New
I'm going
York.
to New York. That's why.
Thank
Yeah.
goodness Tolly went
I
to New
got a
York.
job in New York. Yeah.
But I was like, you know what? It's an adventure. And so I didn't move to the Twin Cities. I moved 3 hours north of the Twin Cities.
Yeah.
Funny enough, Jenna Kutcher, who is has been also doing a really great job, I think, speaking out on her social media. She
Hmm.
lives there. If only I had known that then. Um, but it was very like small mining town. There was a casino. It was sort of like one of the bigger cities of the Northlands. But I would drive down to the Twin Cities, which were awesome. Graphic design capital uh, of the U.S. I remember being a graphic design major. Um,
Oh, yeah,
and
it was.
yeah, it was just, I used to make fun of Minnesota because it was that Minnesota
Sorry, Brandy.
nice. No, Brandy, you and I joke about it because,
Yeah.
yeah, because it was so earnest and like to my Detroit scrappiness felt so like goody goody and virtue
And
signally and righteous. But now I
yeah, and
appreciate that. Yeah.
Duluth is a lot more calm than Minneapolis is. Like
Mm-hmm.
there it is like an old mining
Yeah.
town and it's gorgeous. Lots to do there, like if you're going up there
Now,
in the summertime and yeah, like now. Um, well, and I mean like during certain parts of the year, right? Like I lived up
grandma's
there for 3 years.
marathon and
Yeah,
yeah.
I lived there for 3 years and it's gorgeous, but it's in my opinion not as culturally diverse and open-minded as down here.
That's to
But
say. That's for
Hmm.
sure.
also I always say I have a saying that I always tell people of Duluth women raise their boys right because all the guys that I am friends with to this day from Duluth are the kindest,
I know, it's
most
true.
gentle guys and open-minded. So I guess I shouldn't say that they're not as open-minded as down here, but like, yeah.
I was 26 and like in my club era and I was like looking to be a little edgy and I was like these people are so damn nice. I don't know what to do with myself.
I love it. I actually lived there when I was 26 also, so it's funny that
Oh wow.
yeah, like it must be like this like age like to be up there, but like it didn't feel like there was enough to do. But the people
Mhm.
are so nice, right? Like it's probably why we're like Minnesota nice.
They
Everybody,
were.
Yeah.
In fact,
yeah.
I took the website down because I felt like it was maybe a little too edgy a few years ago or just whatever. But I still have like screenshots, and one of the ones I want to share, this should give you an idea of like the goodness of Minnesota that we could maybe all take away was like this parking ticket I got. I walked to my car and I saw a ticket under the windshield. I was like, oh no, shoot, the meter expired. But it was this blue
Oh, I
ticket
remember
yeah, and I
that.
have it, and it says, "Welcome to Duluth. We are glad you found time to visit Duluth. We hope you'll enjoy your stay here and come again and often. As you are a guest, you are not receiving a parking ticket, even though the meter tag shows red. You are now in northeastern Minnesota, where hospitality is a fact and friendliness a way of life. Use our
Wow.
streets, patronize our merchants, enjoy our fine water, dine at our restaurants, drive safely, and spend the night with us. Use our parking meters, and if you want any information or assistance, ask any police officer or call Police Communications 911. Gary L. Doty, Mayor, City of Duluth. P.S. We'd like to have you save this quote unquote ticket as a souvenir and show it to your friends. Thanks for coming.
Oh my
What
gosh, that's so funny.
the hell?
I can't think of another state on this continent that would give you that, but
It's
like
also
that,
kind of adorable.
it's really
Yeah.
adorable. I'm gonna like have to post that. And it just says so much about like why I feel like from a spiritual perspective, if any state had to be chosen to show the rest of us how this Civil War revolutionary period that we may be entering into as Neptune moves into Aries, like how to do it, you know?
Yeah, like
Mm.
it's funny that Prince is from here and Prince like started the revolution. Like
Oh,
that
Oh,
was,
right.
yes, Prince
yeah,
of
Prince
the
and the
Revolution.
Revolutions.
yeah.
Yeah.
So like it's
Or
just,
and the Revolution. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. And I really feel like Minnesota is showing who we really are. And I feel like we are the ones showing who we really are, not like the
Hmm.
propaganda and stuff that they're trying to spin. We're showing up, 10 toes down, boots on the ground, and doing what we can for our neighbors and people we've never even met before, people that we know, and trying to make it a safe space for the cultural diversity that is here as it should be.
What do you think Minnesotans want the people who are leaders, whether public figures or elected officials, what do you think if they could ask anything they would want to ask for?
Help to literally show up.
Hmm.
Like, I get that laws and, things take time and stuff, but we need help now. And we need people to show up now, and we need you to be boots on the ground and to show the people and show up in community like we see other leaders doing for their cities and their people. Like, we need to know that you have our backs and that
Mm.
you are like there with them. Like, people are being literally murdered in our streets,
Yep.
and this needs to end.
And when you say show up, you mean physically, in
Yes,
body, in person, like
yes.
come and
Mm.
deliver something to someone. Come
And
and
not just for show. Like,
yeah,
you need to, yeah, you need to be doing it. Like, we are doing it, like organizing and like setting things up. Like, all of this happened because people weren't going to stand for this and saw nobody helping and just dropped people that own their own businesses, that turned their own businesses into hubs. Like,
Yeah.
and Rectangle Pizza is a local pizza place right downtown there, also that raised $100,000 in 24 hours,
wow.
like to help the
Wow.
community. And we need our officials and higher ups to do the same thing. Like, if the common person can be doing this in 24 hours, well, like, where are you? What are
Yeah,
you doing?
yeah,
You are wasting
exactly.
so much time. Like, we had another life lost. What are you doing?
Yeah. It's just so disappointing how people are choosing the bureaucracy and the kind of, I mean, that's just literally how human rights are taken away. When someone has a reasonable, logical, sensible reason to not do anything.
Because
It's,
the common people, regular people like me, and like are the ones that are showing up and helping, and like people that are struggling, single moms, and like the
mhm,
wine moms, like you said, like that are showing up and doing the deliveries and doing the donations and doing the shopping, and like
Hmm.
yeah.
regular people are doing this.
Yeah.
It like I think that there is a spiritual lesson that we might have missed from 2020 with
Hmm.
the death of George Floyd. Like, what life lessons did we miss there that are coming back around? Like, that happened in Minnesota. This is happening in Minnesota. Like, um, when I think of like the spirit, like community and coming together and support and rising up, like I am very much in support of, you know, police officers and medical like first responders, and like this isn't about that. This is about, like, again, the human decency of how people deserve to be treated, proper training, um, the support of community, and
Yeah.
letting go of racism and the difference of like what we are seeing.
Yeah, I think, Jenna Kutcher, you mentioned earlier, she has, she's a big social media person and had her Gold Digger podcast that she just ended. She had a post that said, it's like, in quotes, like I don't get involved in politics, or I'm not political. And she had an awakening when someone pointed out to her that that's what a lot of white people say when they're not directly affected by an issue. And I think if there's any difference now, it's not like, oh, we're going to develop empathy. I think what this is showing is like no one is immune from an autocracy. No one is immune. Like, we're dealing with, at this moment in time, 8 men have more wealth than 90% of the world. That Amanda Doyle on her We Can Do Hard Things special episode that she did, Why Billionaires, is fascinating. But it's like, it's the same thing. We have this board of peace. We have these 10 autocrats. We have Stephen Miller, Steve Bannon, the Heritage Foundation, this, minority of Christian nationalists, and Trump. They're all working together. The vast majority of us, regardless of race and background, are going to need to work together. And there is talk
Yeah.
about a nationwide general strike that could shut down the economy. And I think I saw that you only need 3.9, let me look this up. I think you only need 3.9% of the population to go on a general strike for it to be effective. Our
Well, it's clear that
taxpayer
all these people
dollars.
care about is money, so you got to hit them where it hurts and not pay
Yeah, and our
taxes, I
our ta
guess.
that's what I was just about to say. Our tax-paying dollars are being used to fund ICE, to fund you know, the Gaza peace deal. Money is being put into a Qatari bank account that U.S. citizens don't even have visibility into. It's not going into social programs. It's certainly not going into FEMA, which FEMA's been pretty much gutted by Doge. And here we are.
You
We're gonna
see
we're
what
gonna
that
see the
rage gets
sad.
awakened during
Well,
the
now
Mars
it's
Pluto square with the
storms and
snowstorms. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
happening all across. So, we this is going to be a tough week. And I don't want to sugarcoat it. I mean, but the full moon in Leo on Saturday, February 1st, is going to be like this very loud call for leadership. I hope
Yeah.
it brings more people in power, from legislators, senators, to celebrities, people with platforms much larger than ours,
Yeah.
to really rally around this. I'm
Leo
hopeful for
rules.
that.
Leo rules the heart and the spine, and we need people with both of those things like never before.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Now, I
Yeah.
mean, Brandy, you in your work do help people clear things and cut ancestral cords and adjust their energy. And I know you've been like really in the 3D of it all, so it's probably been really hard to, and of course we can't spiritually bypass any of this, but
Right.
is there anything from the that realm of your work that you would recommend that people could do in a moment to reset themselves or get their courage and centeredness back?
Yeah, like I've had, many clients making appointments right now because their nervous system is so not regulated right now. And they're just wanting, peace and calm and like you said, their energy restored. And I've been doing a lot of like soul alignment sessions, which is like soul work, whether it's ancestral trauma or
Mm.
which, my biggest fear of all of this is going to be a result of that.
Hmm.
And restoring the energy of that and cleansing the energy of that, clearing heaviness, especially around the heart chakra and even like the third eye, like blocking intuition. Because right now the energy has been a little chaotic where it feels like also people are having a hard time to ground.
Yeah.
And so when your heart chakra, your root chakra, and your third eye are all off, like you really have no center, right?
Mm.
And it's because that's your lower chakras, your center, and your
Yeah.
higher chakras. And so I have found that I've been doing a lot more soul alignment sessions recently, and
Hmm.
probably will be doing that going forward.
Hmm.
Um, I really think that self-care is important right now, but I also think that self-care in community is really important right now, and that a lot of us
Yes.
will be healing together.
Yeah.
And so, do what you can for yourself, but also being in community is going to be very healing. And so, I think the energetic piece, two things can be true.
One of my clients is a specialist in the neuroscience of change, and she taught me that change requires physical preparation too, meaning you have to take care of your body and
Mm,
health to sustain change. So you're not just being clueless or selfish if you take care of yourself. Your literal energetic and physical resources may be needed to hold the
Right,
space for the people who are being kidnapped,
right,
abducted, taken to detention centers or God knows where. So we all need to keep ourselves strong.
I know it
right.
was just this last week that Liam, the adorable 5-year-old
Yeah.
in the bunny hat, got
And the
taken to
Spider-Man
Texas.
backpack.
The relief that we're not getting is why we're so spun out. I'm not a fan of Anthony Scaramucci, who was communications
The
director for like a
mooch.
week for Donald Trump, but he became seriously massively anti-Trump after that. And he made a point in Davos that the point is what I want to share. He was saying, like, this is what you do in a reality show. You go, you create chaos, you divide
Oh,
people, you
true.
spin up drama, and then come in with a so-called resolution so people feel this massive relief. And that really creates a trauma bond. I mean, that is the
Mhm.
traumatic cognitive dissonance. You create a frenzy of chaos and fear and dysregulate. And so you're both the
Right.
perpetrator and the hero. Oh, well, we're going to have a framework of a
That's
deal.
how
The three of us.
abusive
Yeah.
partners stay in,
I find that a lot of people do more self-care when something is going wrong in their life
Mm,
versus like, and which I great, like do that for yourself. Definitely do self-care and take care of yourself, refill your cup. But also remember, like, it should be like anything else. It should be like working out. It should be like eating, like you want to have like some type of like healthy upkeep of like what are you doing for your energy, whether that's in
yeah.
community for yourself, like what does that look like spiritually, mentally, physically.
invite a friend to go for a walk, make dinner together,
Exactly,
Yeah.
things
I like
like
what you
exactly.
said
that.
about self-care and community. All you need are two people to have a
Yeah,
community, just like the tend and befriend stress
right.
response. We need oxytocin to relieve our nervous systems. And that one of the ways to get it is by gathering with people, music as well, like
Like last
healing.
night's vigil, going
Yeah.
outside with a candle just in your own community, like it doesn't
Yeah.
have to be, you don't have to be like front and center, you don't have to be the front lines,
Yeah.
right?
All
Like
these
everybody.
Minnesota introverts coming out with their instruments and playing music
I
too.
love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Like, it's funny because people always say Minnesota nice, but sometimes we're like, it's more like Minnesota passive aggressive.
Yeah.
Or like can be,
I
like
was told
let
Minnesota
us
ice, honestly, but like we can never use that term again. So I think we're
ever.
seeing
Oh,
Minnesota
right.
spice is what we're really seeing.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Speaking of
Minnesota nice.
which, Tim Walls just gave a comeback to Pam Bondi demanding the documents. He said, I would just give her a pro tip. There's 2 million documents in the Epstein files. We're still waiting on. Go ahead and work on those.
Right.
Nice.
Which are free to release, doesn't, you don't
Exactly.
have to
Do
fund
your
anyone to
job.
release those.
Do your job. Follow the, I mean, it's just the day of retribution will come. I can't,
I think
I
about all
mean,
these
no one
emboldened
has.
people who think that they're like above the law, and then
Oh, they
one
think
day,
that they're gonna serve. Trump is a once in a generation kind of bully, manipulator, time traveling narcissist. Like they think that JD Vance and Peter Thiel and Stephen Miller and all these zombie puppets are going in the Heritage Foundation, Erica Kirk, like they're not going to be able to I just they're not going to be they're without the shield of him and his billionaire connections. They don't it's like with his reality TV persona, it's going to fall apart and he's not going to be around that much longer. It might take a minute, but it isn't going to go on. It just can't. And I
And what are they going to
people on the
do when
wrong side
people
of
start showing up
history.
in Minnesota? What are they going to
Yeah.
do when people start showing up to help us? Yeah,
Charter an Air Force One and bring a bunch of leaders to the Minneapolis St. Paul airport, get their asses into Smitten Kitten Rectangle Pizza outside of the Whipple building, like show up and be the frickin' civilians. You're elected civil servants. You are not in another class or caste. You want us to believe you're one of us, then come and stand with us. I mean,
that's right.
I yeah,
We are like massively supporting like our immigrant owned restaurants and businesses right now.
yeah.
Like, like I'm a part of the West St. Paul local page, which is like my neighborhood community. And people are constantly posting in there about, go support this business, or I went and supported this business. And it has like, you know, couple thousand likes and comments, and it's just
Hmm.
really great how people like are continuing to show up in community. And I love that you guys have leaders that are doing that, and right now like it's us doing that.
Hmm.
Like I can't wait until it's everybody doing that, like, oh, I'm going to take a road trip to Minnesota
I
to
know.
just
Right.
show up
Well,
like,
instead
Yeah.
of Mar-a-Lago, because I mean, I don't want to bring down the vibe, but I have to call out the Melania film,
Oh,
the Melania
I'm just glad she got a
special.
terrible set of
It's
transits for her movie debut.
Well, it's now coming out that the movie poster was shot by none other than Ellen von Unworth. Talk about going back, like, oh,
Wow.
and they did a screening at the East Room, not the East Wing, because that's gone, of the White House on Saturday. And director Brett Ratner, wasn't he like
Oh
Me
yeah,
Too?
he's yeah, yeah.
Queen Rania of Jordan, what the hell?
Huh?
He was Zoom CEO Eric Yuan.
No.
I know we're on Zoom now. That's going to change. Back to Riverside we go.
Wow.
AMD CEO Lisa Su. AMD is like a chip make. Come on. Mike Tyson,
What?
socialite and fiat heiress. This is in the Hollywood Reporter. Ozzy Agnelli. Freaking self-help guru Tony Robbins.
Ugh,
Yeah.
oh,
Pisces.
wow.
Tony, I can't stand him. He keeps like I've been doing some Joe Dispenza
Oh, he's
meditations,
terrible.
and like a couple times an ad will come on and it's Tony
Oh,
Robbins and his voice. I know you've trying to
Oh, I
sell his
can't.
new AI. Anyways, it's just
Wow.
people are just what are we doing in this Marie Antoinette era? It's like Minneapolis versus Marie Antoinette. Like that is
The propaganda film.
hopefully the algorithm, TikTok is now suddenly having all kinds of weird glitches and I said this over a year ago when the TikTok ban was, or maybe it was the beginning of the year when it was like
Beginning of the
Trump was
year,
gonna
yeah.
ban. I was like,
Was
oh
another one of
no.
his
He's
reality
gonna
show,
sell
like
it
he's
to
gonna do
all
it, he's
his
gonna do it.
buddies.
Oh no, he's
I was
not.
like, no,
Really.
he's not. He's not. He's gonna carve it up with all his buddies, and that's what he did. So Oracle, which Oracle, Larry Ellison or from Oracle, actually, Oracle has all of our data on it from the CIA, FBI, the IRS. I mean, I know I've been going down some rabbit holes, but now they own TikTok too. So, I mean, Mark Zuckerberg owns Instagram. It's just all Pluto and Aquarius. It's blowing up so many systems, including social media. It's like we are being forced to learn how to be good neighbors again, I think, and
yeah.
how to blow
Mr. Rogers would be so
whistles.
disappointed in so many people, but so proud in
I
Minnesota.
know. Oh, he would. He would.
God.
I'm not sure if he was a
Pisces.
Pisces or a Cancer. Dr. Seuss was a Pisces, although he
Mr.
had some.
Rogers
He was
was
a
a
Cancer. He was
Pisces.
a Pisces?
March 20th is a
Wow.
Oh, wow.
yeah.
Wild. Like how
So
many Pisces are showing up in
Pisces, Aries,
29
cusp.
Yeah.
29 degrees. Okay, so here's what we're gonna
Wow.
leave this with,
Beautiful day in the
on
neighborhood.
the it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, but on February 1st, Leo full moon. Let's do a spiritualist seance. Call in Mr.
Mr. Rogers.
Rogers, or actually do it today because Neptune's at 29 degrees Pisces. He was born 29-degree Pisces, March 20th, 1928. Crazy.
Wow.
Be lighting some candles and calling in some
No,
energy
it's
over here.
We're calling in Lady
better.
Elaine. We're calling in that trolley, Mr. Rogers. It's like we're summoning his spirit right now. Break out your ties, your cardigan sweaters. That's going to be the new protest uniform. I don't know. I'm going all kinds of places right now, but
Yeah. I mean,
leaders
Brandy,
like that who stand for something is what I'm hoping this full moon brings. Yeah.
yeah. So, Brandy, thank you so much for being our first guest on the podcast and
And
for
where can
just,
people find you too if they want to learn more about what you do as a healer?
Well, thank you both so much for having me on here. I was so honored to be on here today and be able to talk about Minnesota and how much love I have for my home state. People can find me on Instagram, Intuitive Energy Healing MN, as in Minnesota. And I'm also on Facebook. And I'm only on Instagram and Facebook, I think, right now are
mhm.
my two main things.
Okay. Well, we'll
We'll
share the
drop the
link.
link,
And
yeah, on the show.
again,
My link is
donate.
in my bios. Yeah.
Great, great. Yeah. Okay, good. Yeah. Follow Brandy. You're giving great updates. Book a session. You can book a session with us at astrostyle.com/readings. We have our calendar open as well if you're needing some spiritual support. And, just last announcements, standwithminnesota.org is who we're supporting. And this week, if you go to astrostyle.com/Minnesota and buy a copy of our 2026 PDF, we're going to donate 100% of the proceeds to Stand with Minnesota for the rest of January. And we do have our Become Your Own Astrologer course beginning February 21st, which is Brandy's been a coach in for the last couple
She was
years.
our first student certified
Oh,
in
wow, the very
2024.
first. Oh,
Yep.
yeah. Oh, my gosh. So, yeah. And
You guys are
we
amazing teachers.
Well, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Well, on February 1st, not only will there be a Leo full moon, but we're doing our first free webinar. So you can get a taste of what we teach in the class, how to read your birth chart and actually understand it. You can go to astrostyle.com/events to sign up for that. It's going to be at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. You're going to learn how to read your birth chart, the 4-part puzzle that we teach, and get a taste of what we teach and become your own astrologer if you're curious. But it's totally free to attend, and we would love to see you next Sunday. If you're already wanting to be and become your own astrologer, you missed it the last 2 years. Space is limited, so head over to astrostyle.com/BYOA. Registration is open. And we're starting in just a little over 3 weeks. It's such a powerful community, right? I mean, Brandy, we went through the election and
Yes.
2025 together. What was that like? I mean, for you, as you recall, I think the community was super powerful. So,
Yeah, the class itself was so great. Like you guys made it very easy to understand and simplify. And I mean, it was such a crazy energetic time,
yeah,
during the
Oh
elections
my
and stuff like
God.
that. And but it was fun because during class we would look up stuff about the United States and where the
right.
planets were at that time of the election and things that were happening. And it was just really cool to be able to look back and see the patterns of astrology and how they were showing up in current times.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we did.
We really did. There was even like a lightning storm during one of them,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That was, I mean, it was, it got me through the last 2 years talking about like the self-care that you find in community, like so
Mhm.
much support, such a
Such an
cathartic
amazing,
outlet.
yeah, an
Yeah.
amazing community, such wonderful people, and really been fun. I would highly recommend it for anybody. It's
And you're
just been
coming
really
back to coach again this year with us.
Yep.
We're not letting you
Yeah.
go. So we will be,
Gonna bring the
yeah.
spirit of Minneapolis
That's right.
to Zoom or maybe another platform now that we found out who was at the Melania premiere. Stay tuned for that one. But
I at this point, oh, Tim Cook was also there, it appears. So, but we
naturally,
saw
we
Reddit from
expect him
Apple. Did anyone else have an like we've been talking about this, like, wow, my iPhone just updated on its own.
and
And
glitched
by the
afterwards a
way,
lot.
Google did an update. If you go to Buzzfeed's Instagram, it turned on a feature automatically. So if you have a Gmail account, I'm gonna put the link in the show notes. BuzzFeed has a carousel about it in their Instagram, but yeah, they now, if you don't turn off this feature, and you have a Gmail account, they can just take the data and basically spy on all your conversations, all your attachments. So you got to go turn this feature off. The surveillance state has gotten so insane since Uranus went into Gemini for a little while. At July 7th, November 7th last year. It's kicking up again for 7 years, this April 25th. We're in it. We're in a period of
Protect
unprecedented. The
yourself. Yeah.
technocrats
Yep.
have us, so we have to just, but I love, like, for every time someone tries to do something, the people just are coming so fast with a response and advice. And if we can bring this kind of organizing to
Right.
government and voting, and we have
Yep.
very good reason to feel that this year of the unbridled spirit, 2026, is going to bring some major shifts and major breakthroughs. It's not going to be, we have to buck up a little, get resilient,
We're
and
still in the year of
we
the
can do
snake, but it's coming. It's
we can
coming. The
do hard
horse is
things.
coming.
We can do
Yep.
hard things.
If
So
Minnesota can do it, anybody can do it.
in
Hmm.
30
You know,
negative
like
30-degree weather,
Yes.
that's right.
yeah.
That's right.
If
That's
Minnesota
my
Nice can turn into Minnesota Spice, then Spice World, which, debuted, Spice Girls came out the last time. Saturn was in Aries. So here we go again. Hopefully
that's
not
right.
with an inappropriate wedding dance, but
Or
with
an
the
unfit.
the
Put
sound of
down the wet.
resistance.
Put down the wedding dress, bitches, and put on your Mr. Rogers sweater. It's
That's
time to
right.
take to the streets.
Cardigan up,
Okay.
everybody. Cardigan up. We're going Minnesota on your asses. And
Right.
we'll,
Okay, here we go. Let's go.
uh,
Okay. All
all
right.
right,
Well, we'll be
everyone.
back
Stay
next
safe.
week. Follow
Thank
us
you,
on
Brandy.
Instagram throughout the
Thank
week if
you.
you want more. Thanks, Brandy, so much. Till next
Thank
week.
you.
Bye, everyone.